Hey everybody, it's Lindsay and I'm here today to share with you how you can make a set of tags but without a die. All you're going to need is your paper trimmer and some cardstock. So first I'm starting out, I've got my paper trimmer here and just a piece of plain white cardstock. I'm going to first go ahead and cut this at 3 inches and I'm just cutting the entire thing, and I'll cut 2 strips of this because I want 4 tags. I'm making a set of tags to give as a gift. So I'm going to end up with four tags here. So once I have both of these strips cut, I'm going to go ahead and put them together and cut these at the same time. And I'm going to put these back in and cut them at 4 inches. Now this is just what size I'm making my tags. You can make them whatever size you want and then follow the rest of the guidelines for this, and it'll work out just fine. You can make little bitty ones, bigger ones, it's up to you. So the middle of 3 is 1.5, so I'm going to go ahead and make a little pencil mark at 1.5 inches there in the center of my tag. And then I'm going to come down 1 inch and make a mark on both the left and right side. So I'm coming in at 1 inch from the very top of the tag. Now you can come in as far as you want to here. It's just how deep of a V you want your top of your tag to be. This is just the way I'm doing mine. Again, you can switch this up and make these look a little bit different. You could also just use a die and make these a fun shape on the top if you wanted to. That would be great too. I wanted mine a triangle, so this is how I am doing it. I'll go ahead and flip this around now that I've marked the 1.5 inch mark in the center of my tag, and I'll go ahead and make my 1 inch mark on both the left and right side of this tag. So now that that is all complete, I can go ahead and put these in my trimmer. Now the great thing about my trimmer is it has a wire guide on it, so I can line up that wire with both of my pencil marks and then go ahead and chop off the sides of these tags and make a nice triangle shape on the top of my tag. So I'm just doing this on both sides, and there you can see I'm just slicing that off, and I'm doing 2 at one time just to save a little bit of time, and I've got a nice triangle shape on the top of my tags. So again, I'm just lining this up using that wire guide to line up my 2 pencil marks on the top and then on one of the sides, and then I'll flip it around and do the same thing on the other side as well. And then I'll just chop this off, and then I've got my tags ready to go. The only thing you need to remember to do is to erase your pencil marks. Now a little trick, if you have a paper trimmer like mine, you'll know that the blades can get dull pretty easily, especially if you cut a lot of glitter paper. So what I do, I have these on hand, they're just sanding blocks. Just run this along the edges that get any little pieces that hang off, little fuzzes, and those fall right off. It doesn't look like your blade is dull at all then. Now to make this a little bit quicker, I'm using my MISTI here. You definitely don't have to do this. I just wanted to speed things along, and also I have a hard time stamping sentiment straight, so this just helps me out. I have the Lawn Fawn Baked with Love stamp set here that I'm using today, and I've got the Baked with Love sentiment pulled out, lined up on my MISTI, and I'm stamping this sentiment about on the bottom quarter of these tags, and I'm leaving this all in the same place so every tag looks identical with the sentiments. Now I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I am doing some coloring with alcohol markers, and I wasn't for sure how low I wanted to take the color. If you do these exactly like me, you don't need to use this here. You can use your nice black dye ink, and then you don't have to double stamp these like I did. I wanted each of my tags to be a little bit different, but very simple at the same time. So I'm going to switch up how they look on each one of them. So I have, again, this is the mixer from the Baked with Love stamp set. These are all stamps from that set. I'm just going to kind of switch them up a little bit. Again, I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I will be using my alcohol markers, and I'm just stamping that mixer right above the Baked with Love sentiment, right in the center of the tag. Now for that I kept it very simple. For this next one, I'm going to mask out just a little scene, nothing spectacular or really in depth here, but just a small scene. So I've got this little pile of flour, and I'm going to stamp it right above the word with. Then I can go ahead and mask this off. These are masks I have previously used, so you'll see they have a bit of stamping already on them, but they still work just fine. This is why I save my masks. And then I'm going to stamp this little flower bag right to the right of it. Now, I've already used these stamps, but because I'm not using my Misty here, I am testing these out just to make sure I don't have any little leftover from a wipe using to wipe these off, or just anything is wrong with the stamping, because I really don't want to have to redo any of these tags. I'll go ahead and mask off that flower bag now. And then there's this really cute little rolling pin. Now you could flip this over and look as if the rolling pin is laying the opposite way, which is great. They designed this really well here. But I'm going to stamp this right to the left of this little flower mound and bag, and it's going to look like it's behind all of that. Now for my next one, again, I'm going to stamp out just a little scene, nothing, again, really new here. I'm just going to stamp this bowl. I did wipe off just a little bit of the ink on the top left corner because I'm going to make it look as if the spoon is in the bowl, so you can see a little gap in my stamping. And then I have a mask cut out, but it doesn't have the top portion of the bowl because the spoon is going to look as if it's in there, so I didn't want to mask off that part. Again, I'm just testing these out before I stamp them, and then I can ink this up, look straight through that stamp, and stamp it right there in that gap where I had the ink wiped off from the stamp. I'm going to go ahead and stamp some eggs. Again, this is already masked off, so no need to mask anything here. I'll mask that first egg off, and then I'll stamp one right to the right of it. I'm masking that off as well, and then I'm going to stamp this little butter, and I'll stamp that right in between the bowl and spoon and the two little eggs, and that will do it for that one. Now on this last one, I'm going to keep it really simple. Just stamp this little rolling pin, and Lawn Fawn always puts in little smiley faces in their stamp sets, so I'll stamp a little smile right in that rolling pin. So I have these little hearts as well in all their stamp sets, it seems like. So I'm just going to stamp this tiny little open heart right below the word with, right in the center of the bottom of the tag. And that's just really going to tie all of these tags together and make them look like a complete set. So I needed to go ahead and color these, and I am just going to go ahead and use the same colors all the way across these tags just to really speed things along. So my rolling pins are the same color, and my spoon is the same color here, you can see, so I don't need to keep switching markers back and forth here. I'm keeping it very simple, very quick coloring. So now that I have all those colored, I'm going to go ahead and color the flower, and the eggs are going to be the same color, so again, less switching out here. Then I can go ahead and I can move on, and I'm going to go ahead and color this bowl a peach color, and the stripe will end up being a navy. And then I'm going to carry this peach color over to the mixer, you'll see in a minute. You really want to keep a cohesive look if you're going to give something all together as a gift. Make it look like it's supposed to go together. I'm just going to use a nice navy stripe there, and then I'll color that butter in with yellow just to finish off that tag. Now again, for my little flower bag here, I'm going to go ahead and color him red, and the way I'm going to tie in that red is to color some of the hearts red that are on the bottom of the tags, so I can carry that red across the cards. Now my little bowl will be silver along with the rest of the little silver. If you've seen a mixer, you know that they have some silver elements on them, so I will make all of those silver as well. And then again, I'm just going to make this little mixer and use the same peach colors that I used on the bowl to keep it a cohesive look. Nothing spectacular about my blending here. I'm just keeping my light focus in the center, I guess you could say, my light source in the center, and my shading on the outside. And then, like I said, I just colored in those little hearts red to carry that red across the tags, and that finished them off. Now when I did some of my stamping and masking, I did have a few spots that didn't quite stamp perfectly, so I'm coming in with this micron pen. It's a 0.05 width, and I'm just going to fix any of my little mistakes here. And also, I will then bring in a white gel pen, and I will fix any of my little mistakes where my coloring went outside the line. So here you can see I had a little bit of the peach go out, and also on the rolling pin some of that seeped out the sides. A white gel pen, just kind of tapping it over any of it that spilled outside the lines, just really takes that away. You won't even be able to tell that you messed up. Now the best thing I found to put a hole in a tag is your regular dollar hole punch from the store. You can buy them at any office supply store, anywhere you can buy office supplies. Probably even your local grocery store has these. These are like $1, but they work the best for tags. So I just put a little hole right in the center top of each of those tags. Now everyone has their own preferred method of putting on a string to a tag. This is mine. I'm using just some twine here, and I'm just going to go ahead and fold it in half, poke the folded end through the hole, and then it creates a loop in the back. I can put my 2 strings from the front through that and then pull it tight, and then I have these 2 strings to tie on to any baked good or any bow that you've already created on a gift. Again, I'll show you one more time how I do it. I just fold this in half, make sure it's folded where both ends are equal, and then I will just poke this right through from the front to the back of that hole. It creates a loop in the back. I can take those 2 strings from the front, loop them right through, and just pull that tight. And I did that for all of my tags. That's how I do it. Use your own method that you like to do. Now I did add Wink of Stella just to the 2 simple tags. There you can see, I'll go ahead and put it on the mixer as well. I didn't want to do anything to the scenes because they were already busy enough, but this just gave the little simple ones a little something extra to make them pop a little bit more. And that finished off the tags for today. I will give you a close-up of all the finished tags. But one last thing I did want to mention, I am giving these as a gift to someone as a thank you who loves to bake. I needed a way to present them and give them though instead of just a normal card. So I went ahead and made a box and a bow with my envelope punch board. So if you come back on Monday, you'll be able to see how I made this right here. As always, I will leave you guys with just a few pictures. For more information and the supply list, you can head on over to my blog, craftingwhilecaffeinated.wordpress.com. The link is in the description box below, as well as that I in the top right hand corner. That will get you there too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy crafting, and don't forget to come back on Monday.